Welcome, everyone, to the Wednesdays at One show. My name is Eric Cox. I am your host today and mostly every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And I'm so happy to have all of you in here with me today. Today's show is a little different. I always start my shows by saying, we have a very special show today. Well, this show is special in the sense that it's unique. However, this show is really more about what's going on in the world generally, but also going on with me personally. So I'll start with the thing that a lot of people are talking about and thinking about at this moment, and that is that I am fully vaccinated. I'm very excited about that. I encourage every single person to go get vaccinated. I'm trying to say that as apolitically as I possibly can, although vaccinations shouldn't be political in the first place. That's a whole other conversation. But I went, I had both of my shots over the course of, I believe, 3 weeks. I had the Pfizer shot. I had a little bit of reaction on the second shot, a little bit more of a reaction on the second shot than the first shot. The first shot just sort of made me tired. The second shot definitely got to me the second day. So I got my first vaccination on a Friday and was fine. Actually went back and did a bunch of work. But Saturday was sort of a lost day. However, the good news is on Sunday, I was as fresh as a daisy, as if nothing had ever happened. And I'm so glad that I was able to first schedule and then get my Pfizer shots. It was a simple process. It was easy. It was very well organized at the location. And as I said, I'm trying to be apolitical in this particular instance. Go get your vaccination shot. It helps you. It helps me. It helps everyone you know, everyone you don't know. And I'll tell you, for me personally, it was a mindset changer. All of a sudden, all things are possible. And so that's a little bit of a lead in to why I have this handheld microphone here today. Uh, I have this microphone because I'm starting to use my studio space that I've built here in my house. It's not even a house; it's an apartment, but I've built here, and I'm using it to do more than just the Wednesdays at One show. As you guys may or may not know, I do remote produce online events. So that means I can sit here in my studio and produce your event, bring up graphics, change cameras, start the show, end the show. I can do that remotely without ever being a part of this show, and no one who's viewing ever really uh, realizing that there's someone producing it. All they see is a very well produced show at the user end, and that's always my goal. Um, so I'm starting to use this space, as I said, and I'm going to be using this space tomorrow. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, um, a organization that I've worked with over the last about 3 years or so, and one that is near and dear to my heart, the YWCA of Northeastern Massachusetts. They are having their annual Tribute to Women event, and it is a live show. It is honoring 22 women here in Northeast Massachusetts, specifically sort of the Merrimack Valley area. And I was very fortunate to nominate and have accepted not one, but two incredible women who will be honored in tomorrow's ceremony. One of them is a friend of mine who I've known for probably, I don't know, maybe 20 years at this point. And her name is Carla Zavalios. And she is this amazing woman doing some amazing work, both personally in her official, professionally, I should say, in her official duties as a diversity, equity, and inclusion officer for Takeda Pharmaceuticals, um, and and personally in her community. Carla comes originally from Peru. She has she's so decorated in so many ways. She has so many awards and citations. This is another one, but this one's special to me because I wanted to make sure that she was recognized for the work that she does on her job and in her community. And the YW saw fit to honor her with a tribute to women distinction from the YW. I am so incredibly proud of Carla. She, as I said, has been a friend of mine for about 20 years now. I've seen her. She came here. She did her undergrad in the DC area. She eventually got her master's degree, and she is a high level executive now in her job, and she's working in those areas, as I said, diversity, equity, and inclusion. The second honoree, Ywca Hemingway. Ywca Hemingway has been on this show. She is a force of nature. She has helped so many small businesses along the way. She's a host. She's a radio personality. She's been in a lot of videos that I've actually produced. And she's like a go to woman for me. Whenever I need a talented woman to do basically what I'm doing right now, only much, much, much better in front of crowds, to raise awareness, to point people towards certain businesses, I call Ywca Hemingway. She never even ever hesitates. She's like, what do I need to do? Where do I need to be? What do you want me to say? You don't know? Okay, I'll figure it out. And she is being honored by the YWCA in this year's Tribute to Women designation. So I'm super excited for Ywca. She's an incredible friend. She's a mom. She hosts a podcast. She does radio. As I said, she's on. She's been a host for a lot of the videos that I've produced, and she's just an incredible, incredible person. And also Carla, who's done so much important work inside of her own company and in her community. Incredibly proud of both of these women. So we're gonna have a live show, not here on my channels, but the show will originate from my studios. And this is the show. I'm excited about it. It's the YWCA Tribute to Women 2021. And it is something that I think, even if you don't know any of the women, even if you're not familiar with the YWCA, it is something that I would encourage you to watch, because these are strong, accomplished, selfless women, 22 of them. And we learn a little bit about each and every one of them. And they are honored and given their congratulations during the course of this show. There's a live, the whole show is live. So there'll be a pre-show that will come from this studio, and that'll be for about 15 minutes. That's a very special show. There's going to be some personal video tributes to some of the honorees from their families, from their friends, from their colleagues, and that was an incredible project to work on. So I would say come in early at 6:15. Stay for the show. It's going to be a great show. I really hope that if you have a chance tomorrow at 6:15, you go to the YWCA of Northeastern Massachusetts. You go to their Facebook page, you go to their web page. They're going to have all of the information on how to watch and when to watch. I am excited to let you guys know about it, and I'm excited to be participating tomorrow for the YWCA. I want to say hi to one of my really great friends. Her name is Andy Lyons. She's always such an important uh, source of inspiration for me, and a real resource actually. What she does and how she does it, I'm going to tell you. I watch Andy do a lot of things on her shows, which are on Tuesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. The Startup Life with Andy Lyons. She has done so much with her brand, with her show, and I'm just constantly amazed at how far she has come from the beginnings. Because when she started doing her shows, she was, unsure, and I understand that, because when I started my show, I was unsure. You guys know that I just celebrated 25 years 25 shows a few weeks ago. Feels like 25 years, I'll tell you that. And that's not even a drop in the bucket compared to all the shows that Andy has done herself. She gets incredible guests, primarily from the startup and entrepreneurial world, from all levels. So if you're just a startup, and you're starting off from inside your own garage or inside your own house, to a VC funder, to a person, and everyone else in between. She has the pulse of the entrepreneurial and startup world. Andy, you are so welcome, and I so appreciate you. I'm going to be thinking about you this time next year. Maybe it's time that Andy Lyons is a Tribute to Woman recipient. But thank you so much for being just who you are, your very own Andy-licious self. And of course, Lynn Haskell Dean. Hello, I'm really glad you were vaccinated. The Y Show sounds amazing. Thank you so much. Like I said, I don't know that it needs to be a political statement to say that I've been vaccinated. I feel like that it kind of is. If it is, so be it. I've been vaccinated, and I encourage you to do the same. And the Y Show, yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. We're going to be right here in what I like to call the mothership, doing the pre-show. So when you think about that pre-show for the Y, think about it as if it's like if you're watching the Oscars or the Grammys or the Emmys, and they have that red carpet section of the show. It's sort of, the pre-show, but it is part of the show. You want to see what happens in there before the show starts. And that's what we're going to do tomorrow from the mothership right here. I'm going to have Gene Osborne here with me. And that's just another thing, right? I'm vaccinated. Gene is vaccinated. So I feel really comfortable inviting people into my studio and creating content that's beneficial to the overall cause. So this is something that I want you guys to be thinking about. Um, Go and like and follow the YW, on their social media, their YouTube, their Facebook, and then you'll get an alert when the show starts. That'll be tomorrow at 6:15, and that's something that I am really excited about. For me, it's an indication that things are turning the corner. I can tell you myself, my activity level, my engagement level has really, really, really spiked. There's really no other word I can say. Part of the reason I'm doing a show kind of today, like a free form show, I don't even know how long I'm going to go. It's kind of a free form show. I called it MP University because that's sort of uh, my umbrella name for a show when I'm just here talking, right? Not the most dynamic of presentations, but you know what? I'm here. I'm glad you're here, and we're just talking. So if you want to say anything in the comments, please let me know how you're doing, where you are in your vaccination journey. Um, Let me know what you see differently out there. Now, I'll tell you, I'm still wearing a mask. I still try to be very cautious wherever I go. I still have my hand sanitizer and I use it. But as I said, I think more so mentally in terms of a mindset. I feel like anything's possible. I have in-person shoots scheduled, and I'm always really happy to say to people when they're thinking about doing in-person shoots, that's fine if you want to do an in-person shoot. I am vaccinated, and so that's really sort of a part of how I can do and be a better do better business and be a better business person. I've been vaccinated, Lynn says, for several months. I hope all will do so. Agreed. Public health shouldn't be political. Very sad. Yeah, very sad, but you know what? It's a moment to reflect. It's a moment to think about where we've been over the last year, right? It's been a tumultuous year. It's been a year where we've seen things that we've never seen before. We've done things that we've never done before. It's been a year of self discovery, a year of introspection for me personally. But it's also allowed me to really be an observer of others in a way like I've never been before, because it's all right there, right? If we want to do any interaction, we have to do it in formats like this where everybody can see it. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know about you, but I had my eyes open to people, people I didn't know personally and people that I did know personally, because people felt really comfortable or empowered or just bored to really share themselves in public forums. And so, in some instances, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty horrifying. People that I knew for a long time, I won't even say that I knew them well, but knew for a long time, I found out some things about them that I can't even really begin to tell you how that made me feel personally on a lot of levels. And by the same token, there were people that I discovered things about that were incredible, magnificent, like just blown away by what people out there are doing. And so, there's always two sides to the coin. And I think in this particular case, um, over the last year, I've been able to really discover people in ways that I had never even imagined before a pandemic, when we were all kind of forced to be right here where we are. For myself, and I've told you guys this many, many times, this studio that I'm in right now did not exist even a year ago this time, and we're in May. But over time, I built up the things that I needed and built this studio, and now I'm using it. And basically, I use it every day. Basically, I appear on camera in one way or another nearly every day, whether it's to remote produce various events, to appear in video chats, which we all have been doing, to be a guest on a show, to be a host of a show like I'm doing right now and I'll do tomorrow. Um, but it's really sort of opened up that part of me that I never really had to access. I've worked all of my professional career behind the camera. And I think I've told you guys many times, I've shared with you here in my, live streaming best practices. I'm not going to bore you with that today, but I've shared with you guys a lot of times there's little things that make a big difference. Number one is right here in my hand. It's a microphone, right? Usually I have a microphone on here, a Lav microphone. And I like the Lav microphone because it allows me to keep my hands free. When I have a handheld, I have to hold it. People have holders and they'll have, like you see, they have a big microphone right in the middle of their shot. I'm not in love with that, but it's acceptable. People do it. Sometimes they have it like here. They're like almost hiding behind it. I don't know what that's about, right? I want you guys to see me, right? That's why I have these beautiful lights pointed at me. But for today, I wanted to test these mics. I actually have a couple of mics. So tomorrow for the YW, we're going to be in a setting where we have a couple of chairs. We'll have a couple of microphones. We're going to talk about these incredible women in the YWCA Tribute to Women show that I was telling you about. And we're going to show some videos of some tributes from friends, family, and colleagues. And I'm just going to tell you, I worked on the project. And when you see these tributes, these heartfelt tributes that were all recorded remotely, when you see these people um, giving tribute to their person, it you can't help but just feel better. You feel good about people again. You feel good about the potential of what people can do when they're inspired, like the people in these tributes do. They inspire people. The two friends that I mentioned to you earlier that I nominated, they're great friends, but they're also a great inspiration. I really take a lot from them as just not because they're you know doing these spectacular things that everybody knows about. It's more about the small things that they do, the things that they do every single day to make this world a little bit better. Right? It's not that hard. It's really not. And so I'm so glad that I have a chance to have a hand in having them be recognized for, as I said, they are doing big, important, and spectacular things. There's no doubt about it. But for me, it's about the little things that they do every single day, not for their own benefit, but for the benefit of others, right? Again, sort of sounding political, right? Sort of sounding like the conversation around mask wearing, right? Um, you know, I wear a mask not for me, but for you, a person that I don't know, a person that I may never see again after we cross paths. Um, but I care about you enough to wear a mask, and I know it sounds political, and it shouldn't, but that's what it is. That's what it is. It's about the little things that each and every one of us can do every single day. It's not attacking people or criticizing people or writing snarky comments in comment sections or writing mean tweets or all the other things that are just really they're sort of part of everyday life now, but that's not what life is about. It's about these women that I nominated and the 20 other women, a total of 22 women that are, believe me, I don't know all of these women. I know these two, and I know a couple of the other women too, just because of my involvement in the area. But I can go out on a limb and say none of these women are writing mean tweets. They don't have time. Even if they had time, they would not be inclined to do that. Their default setting is, how do I help? How do I make things better? How do I, you know, go a little further today than I did yesterday? And how do I bring someone with me while I do it? And I think that, regardless of your political background, that's just a solid game plan every day, right? How do I go a little bit further? And how do I help someone else go a little bit further? I mentioned my friend Andy Lyons earlier. Andy has been such a inspiration to me because she was doing it before I was doing it, and I was cheering her on. I was like, "Yeah, go Andy, do it. Yeah, just do this. Yeah, just do that." I mean, that's sort of what I do as a coach, anyway, as a media trainer. But I found a new appreciation and a new respect for what Andy did and what so many of you guys out there are doing when I had to do it. When I had to sit here and try to talk to a guest and try to produce a show and click all the buttons. And believe me, I've made enough mistakes in my own shows for 2 lifetimes. But what it does is it allows me to be perfect for your show. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what works and what doesn't work. I know exactly how to execute so that you have a seamless show, right? That's why you hear me talking a lot about DJs, and I've had DJs on here. The DJs inspired me. One of my good friends, Tony Hippolyte, he introduced me to Twitch. And I go to Twitch and I love music. I love the DJs. It's really a gaming platform for gamers, but there's a whole section for DJs. And I'm watching these DJs and they have these spectacular shows. They're playing their music. They have these moving backgrounds. They have all this stuff coming into the screen. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, how are these guys doing all of this? I barely got my camera up. I got to get a couple of lights. I got to figure out some things. These guys have moving, they put themselves in all of these positions. And I'm like, that is something that I want to do and I want to learn to do. And it's something that, over time, I got better and better at it, better and better at. And it's something that I can pass along to my clients, and I have. And I'm so glad that I have, because for me, I always tell people it's really not so much about me, what I can do and how I do things. It's really about how I can help, right? How can I do things? How can I learn how to do things so that you guys can do your thing a little bit better, right? One of my favorite things that I love to show people is what you can do with a little bit of, a little bit of curiosity and imagination, right? You can take a blank slate, just like this, a blank slate, and turn it into anything you want. You can turn it into anything you want it to be or need it to be. And that's really what it's about. And so that's what I try to tell people all of the time. There's all things possible in this space. And I want you guys to take that journey if you're so inclined. I love this particular shop because I like bars, I guess. um, but I like this shot because this shot is one of the first shots that I ever produced where I was like, wow, I can do anything. This shot gave me the confidence to say, you know what? Tell me what you want to do and we'll do it. This shot fooled my sister. I did this shot sort of mid pandemic for the first time. She saw the show, and this is no joke. She texted me and she goes, "You're not social distancing. Why are you in a bar?" And I thought to myself, yeah, this is a pretty cool shot, but I don't think I'm fooling anybody, right? I think people know that this is a green screen. My sister was like, "Get out of, why are you hanging out in bars? And at least if you're going to be in a bar, wear a mask." And I'm like, Shane is my sister. I'm like, Shane, I'm not in a bar. That's a green screen. I thought people really knew that. And, so this is, whenever I look at this shot, and I'm looking at it now, I haven't had to come to this shot in a long time. But I use this in presentations to show people what's possible. This is possible with a green screen and basically your phone if you need it to be, and you use StreamYard and everything like that. Yeah, I agree with you, Lynn. Love the bar scene, miss the bar scene. And I haven't missed the drinks. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have not missed the drinks. The drinks have found me. I guess you don't have to be at a bar spending 4 times the price to drink wine, which is a nice little discovery because I don't even think I knew that. But now I think that I'll still be doing that a lot too. But it's nice to know you can go to a bar if that's what you want to do. You can have a drink out. You can have a meal out. You can take a walk. You can gather with some people. This past weekend was Mother's Day. And I was so happy that I was able to be with my family, my mother and my father, and my 2 sisters and my little nephew. Um, you know, we haven't really all been together aside from holidays, really for a year. And so it was just great to get together. All of us are vaccinated, except for my little nephew who's about 13 months old. All of us are vaccinated. And that was such a relief because my parents, I mean, they're in their 80s. So I don't want to bring anything to their doorstep, because I've certainly done enough. I've tried to be careful and try not to expose myself too much, but I would be devastated if I brought something to their doorstep. Um, because we've all done enough. Some of us more than others. We've all done enough to catch COVID. COVID doesn't discriminate. COVID is very random. That's part of what makes it scary. And it's random in how you catch it. It's also random in how it affects each person. So, just be safe. Even if you are vaccinated, be safe, be smart. Don't take any unnecessary chances, I should say. But yeah, so that's really sort of what was on my mind today. I wanted to, just kind of let people know about where I am and what I'm doing and how I'm doing, and I'm glad to hear how you guys are doing. It's important because one of the things I think is one of the biggest losses is that sense of human connection, right? When's the last time you hugged anybody, right? When's the last time you saw people in person and had a conversation with them? And even if you did see them in person, you can't even see their whole face. So as we get back into what will be this new version of regular life, let's try to reestablish human connection. Man, I'm sounding new agey today. I don't know what's going on. I took my hippie pills or something today. But I want that for the new world that we're occupying. I want to see that human connection reestablished. And even again, like I was saying earlier, let's not just reestablish it. Let's bring it forward. And let's help someone else bring it forward. And, I think that that's going to serve all of us so much better going forward. So I'm going to begin to wrap up. But just one last time, I want you guys to know about tomorrow. You want to go to the YWCA of Northeastern Massachusetts, their Facebook, their YouTube. We're going to have an incredible show tomorrow. I'm really excited that two of my really good friends are among the 22 women in the region that are going to be honored. And I'm excited to see them get their flowers, right? Get your flowers while you're here. I'm a big proponent of that. Get your flowers while you're here. Literally, you can see these lovely women are literally handed flowers, and that's what it's about. Get them while you're here, because when you're gone, it's too late, right? When people are eulogizing you, you don't hear that, right? You're gone. So I want to thank everyone today for coming and hanging out with me and listening to me, and talking about, what I wanted to talk about today. I see my incredible friend, Katie McWilliams. I'm going to talk about Christopher's Haven next week. I didn't want to convolute everything and try to bombard you with a bunch of things, but Christopher's Haven has an event coming up next week that we are so excited about. It's part of the reason I have this microphone in my hand right now. And let me tell you, Katie McWilliams gets it done. I don't want to go too much into it, but she and her team at Christopher's Haven, look it up, see what they do, the work that they do around families who have cancer in the family. It's amazing. I'm going to talk a little bit about that next week, God willing, because I have so many things going on right now that it's just, it's kind of zoom to zoom to zoom. Now I got to make some content. Now I got to create some content. But Katie, so incredibly glad that you are here with me today. And I know that we'll be talking a lot between now and next week. So yeah, for everybody, thank you so much for being here, listening to me as I go kind of, stream of consciousness today. That's just where I am with the show. I'm going to do a little bit of the same next week. We are going to talk Christopher's Haven next week, and you guys are going to be so excited about what's in store for that live event. I am so excited about that, as I am for tomorrow's YWCA of Northeastern Massachusetts event. That's on their Facebook. That's on their YouTube. We begin at 6:15 tomorrow. And then we really are just paying tribute to 22 incredible women here in the Merrimack Valley. So, with that said, guys, I want you to be safe. I want you to be smart about how you conduct yourself. Don't want to be political, but just be smart, be safe, get vaccinated. It's not political, it doesn't hurt. It makes you feel better. It helps your neighbor. It helps your family. It helps everyone that you know and also everyone that you don't know. So it's a win, 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 win. That's my message today. I want to thank everybody who took a minute to come and visit at the Wednesdays at One show. We'll be back next Wednesday, God willing. We'll see. There's a lot that has to go into Christopher's Haven next week, but I'm going to hopefully carve out some time for the Wednesdays at One show. We'll see. But either way, you're going to be hearing from me about that incredible event. So until the next time we're all together, as always, I leave you with command your moment.